Now, who doesn't like big, luxurious SUVs? I mean, I think everybody in India loves them and aspires to owning one. Well, Volkswagen has had their big, luxurious SUV, the Touareg, in the Indian market, well, all these years. But now, VW is betting big on this big SUV with the all-new Touareg. What is it packing? Let's find out. There's a lot that a luxury SUV needs to deliver on. There's comfort, performance, style and off-roading, even though it may never actually step off the tarmac. Now, how will Volkswagen's Touareg handle all these tasks? So we are going to be answering all your questions about the Touareg, starting off with what it's like to drive. The driving experience of the Touareg was one big surprise. A 3-litre diesel motor with 241 bhp and 56 kilograms of torque doesn't sound very exciting. Although shuffling through the traffic in Nagpur, the Touareg definitely didn't feel lethargic. Actually, it was light and quick on its feet, feeling quite at home in the city traffic. Out on the highway too, the performance wasn't any less impressive. When pressed for more speed, the Touareg shot past the 3-digit mark without any hesitation. And it really felt very relaxed cruising because 7th and 8th gears are for overdrive. Now the beauty about this engine is the amount of torque it has, and coupled with that 8-speed automatic gearbox, it's just so responsive. I mean, you just tap the throttle and it leaps off the line. It's all the more impressive considering the size of this vehicle. Actually, the Touareg can be quite proud of its 2.2-ton weight because it is now lighter by over 200 kilos on a comparison spec to spec. But that is without skimping, of course, because all the hardware is there. The Indian spec Touareg even gets adjustable air suspension, which has 3 modes. There's Comfort, Normal and Sport. Rolling down the highway towards Pinch Forest, Comfort mode was working quite well over the varying road surfaces. In Comfort mode, the suspension feels very pliant, soaking up the bumps really quite well, feeling very nice and wafty in that sense. Move it into Sport and you find that body control improves, so it turns in better, but at the same time, it doesn't feel crashy or hard. It's quite clear here that the focus is on comfort. But surprisingly, it was far from sloppy to drive hard. Sure, in Comfort mode, body roll was apparent, but in Sport mode, the dampers became firmer and the ride height was lowered by 25 millimeters. This resulted in better body control and better handling. Now, even though the steering wasn't full of feel and feedback, it did a remarkable job of pointing this big SUV exactly where I wanted it to go. So all in all, the Touareg is a very accomplished package on tarmac. Bigger and more important question for an SUV like this is, how does it fare off-road? There was a track on hand to really understand the Touareg's off-road abilities. The course was littered with familiar challenges, side inclines, axle twisters, troughs and inclines. However, the degree of the challenges was severe enough to get me all keyed up for my turn. On the inside, we got around to setting up the Touareg for the off-road conditions.
And the right turn key button you see on the left side, on-road, and on the right, the off-road program. And if you go in a gravel area or on a gravel road or in an off-road area like this, we switch the left turn key button to the 2 o'clock position. Okay, right now the car pumps up to the off-road.
Okay, yeah, you can
level.
see it over here.
You see on the left side.
With the air suspension set to off-road mode, the Touareg increases ground clearance by 80 mm to a massive 300 mm. And the off-road driving mode readjusts the ABS, ASR and even the Torsen differential to deal with the loose and slippery conditions. The throttle response also became quite dull, making it easier to modulate the power being delivered to the wheels as I teetered on two wheels on the axle twisters. Too much power would bring us crashing down instead of landing gently. The deep troughs showed off the Touareg's 24 and 25-degree approach and departure angles quite well. But an interesting highlight of the Touareg system was the hill hold function.
Let's go. We go on your highest point, and then you stop the car. What you must do is release only the gas pedal. No,
Only the gas pedal.
only the gas pedal. Don't use the braking pedal. And stop the car. No braking pedal, no gas pedal. Then we go 1 meter forward and stop the car. Maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. We can have a lunch or some drinks inside. It's really nice and a good safety device also. Okay, stop the car. Right now we have maybe, I think, more than 10% angle.
Okay.
Or I think maybe a little bit more forward. And stop the car here. And if you release right now the braking pedal, our downhill assist function doesn't work. It's working. And right now, brake and control your speed also by braking pedal, or if you want to go a little bit faster, by gas pedal.
So really, it's quite clear that the Touareg can off-road. But again, something very important, what is it like to live with? Has it covered all the bases? Now when it comes to looks, the Touareg is no superstar. The new face is in line with the rest of the Volkswagen family, uncluttered and understated. However, the chrome-lined grille and the LED-laced headlights are really nice highlights. But what really turns heads are the LED headlights. Overall, it does end up looking a bit like a Passat on stilts, as the headlights and taillights are quite similar. Now, a great highlight on the old Touareg was the tailgate-mounted full-size spare wheel. It has now been ditched in favor of a space saver in the boot's floor. However, there is 580 liters of boot space, and with dedicated buttons to lower the rear suspension, loading luggage into the boot shouldn't be a complete workout. On the inside, the Touareg is richer and more welcoming than the earlier model. The interiors get a nice two-tone finish. While the dashboard gets soft-touch materials in brown, the rest of the cabin is in beige. The leather upholstery also gives it an upmarket feel. And when it comes to equipment, it is loaded. There's a screen for the reversing camera which doubles up as the touchscreen for the infotainment system. There's a massive panoramic sunroof, keyless go, 4-zone climate control, fully powered front seats, adjustable air suspension, electric parking brake, and cruise control. These are just some of the features offered on the inside. On the outside you get bending headlights, headlamp washers, and 10-spoke alloy wheels. Wow, that's quite a list. So it is a bit surprising that Volkswagen isn't offering the start-stop system. After all, it is available in the Passat. But when it comes to space, things are even better, as there's more width in both the rows of seats, and passengers in the second row get more knee room thanks to the longer wheelbase and the adjustable bench. But the Touareg still isn't prepared to seat 7, as it doesn't have a third row of seats. Now, although the Touareg's interior is vastly improved, it doesn't quite hit the mark. Blame it on the missing third row of seats and an interior that feels as special as that of a Passat or a Jetta. Only thing is, here it's in a car that will cost almost 3 times as much. So the Touareg is a really fine machine with a breadth of abilities, whether it's handling city, the highways or the rough stuff. Really strong mechanicals here. On the inside I found that the luxury levels are higher, definitely feels more plush, but still some of that sense of occasion is missing. And the biggest miss there might be the third row of seats. On the looks front, I have to say that it's a more striking face, more contemporary, but still the Touareg seems to be walking this line which says understated, and maybe it's the sensible luxury SUV out there. Hopefully Volkswagen prices accordingly, and that really should help it go strong in the Indian luxury SUV market.
Don't go away, because right after this break, you're going to know what's hot and happening in the auto industry.